Hishuk Hish Shawag. Everything is one. We are all descendants from the same spirit. But my people, white people, most white people don't know this. They don't know this. We don't know this. We don't know it because we don't live it. It's been thousands of years. Our history is thousands of years of us living in our minds. Being disconnected, thinking we're separate from all of it. Taking the Indigenous tourism course and here in Spirit Valley, BC, and I'm learning a lot about Indigenous people, their cultural history, their values, traditions, protocols, and their stories, their songs, dances, carvings, the art, connection to all living things is respected and just cherished and loved. It's just a part of them. They can't separate themselves from it because they know it's ridiculous. And spirit cannot be disconnected from the greater spirit. But that's what our culture, my people, the face that looks like this, so many have seen and feared in the past, came forth with friendship and offerings of, matching the generosity and the kindness of so many native people when they first made contact. Came forth, offerings, sharing the land, had the knowledge their knowledge keepers had kept about how to live in this land, what these things were, what you could eat, what you couldn't eat, when it came, how it happened, what it depended on, that it all was dependent on the same thing, that life spirit that inhabits and animates all forms, the super consciousness of awareness that lies behind the world of form and matter. Now you look at me, you see my face, sunglasses, beard, crooked teeth, whatever, white guy, middle-aged, overweight, to this, to that, all those labels, all those thoughts are forms too. And so we live trapped in that narrative. And it's nobody's fault, it's just part of evolution. That's what the mind has evolved to do. It creates form. It has thoughts and feelings that are triggered by thoughts that create these habits, and most of which are behaviors that we're unaware of. We're in our subconscious 95% of the time. So it's no wonder we've been living up in the head and forgetting our feet are on the ground. We forgot that we are just the walkers. There's the flyers. There's the swimmers, like here beside me. The great gooses. And yeah, Canada goose is annoying when it gets on your lawn and shits on your wharf. But it's life. Enjoying here too. And so we share it. It's not a thing. Anyway, I was very moved by the stuff that was happening today about the residential school here in Spirit Valley. Facts that came out from the Truth and Reconciliation and other studies are published of this genocide that occurred across Canada. Jeez. And people of my form, white man, is just so complicit, if not directly responsible, then complicit. Much like the Germans during World War II, German citizens. I didn't know what was happening. It was right in your backyard. How could you not have known? How could we not have known what was happening for nearly 100 years? The residential school in Spirit Valley, and all the trauma that has created in generations, layered on top after colonization, and the trauma of that first contact, and those betrayals, and the losing of the land, and the squashing of culture. It just boggles the mind. But anyways, how do I move through the pain body inside me that's been triggered by the thought form that's attached to that? Who's right? Who's wrong? It just is. It just is. I accept it. I have to accept it. But right now it's triggering. It's so triggering. feel like I'm being able to ask my elders who are past, like, what happened? What did you know? What did you see? So on one hand, you gotta just accept and let it go, but learn from it. And that's the question. How do we change? Bring things, restore balance? It's taken a long time. We start to see that balance is needed again here on Earth. That this disconnection, this feeling of separateness, this feeling of loneliness, being isolated from all other beings, has created absolute trauma on the most global scale possible. Literally global warming, literally degradation of entire ecosystems, the extinction of hundreds and thousands of species, other beings who were just sharing this experience of consciousness with. And somehow through all of this, Indigenous people have hung on to that connection, that understanding, that connection to spirit. That's not to say they're not lost in ego and the subconscious too. Of course they are. They have minds just like us, but that's the point. They're just like us. We are just like them. We share the same spirit. So anyways, it's time to get out of our heads, white people. It's time to get out of our heads, black people. It's time to get out of our heads, yellow people. It's time to get out of our heads, red people. It's time to get out of our heads, brown people. It's time to get out of our hands, people.